Hello and welcome to my very first Flosstube video. My name is Beatrice and this is the Stitching Journal Club. This video is going to be short and sweet. I'm finding that the first one is the hardest, so we're just going to give this a go and see what happens. I've been stitching since 2019. I bought a random kit from Joann's one day and was pretty much hooked ever since. Since I haven't been stitching for too long, I don't have very many finishes, but I did want to start off by showing a couple of projects that I finished and that I'm very proud of. So without further ado, first is a Scarab Beetle here by Wolfpack Creations on Etsy. I love the colors. I was just instantly attracted to the colors of the scarab, and it was very easy stitch. This is on a 32 count even weave, and it's just beautiful. I don't know how I'm gonna frame it or finish it, so for now I just keep it and look at it when I want to feel happy. Okay, next is this moon from the Creepy Cross Stitch book by Lindsay Swearingen. I modified the bottom here. I didn't, there's supposed to be a bat here, but I didn't stitch it. I thought I wanted just the top bat. But this is a really fun stitch. But I decided after finishing this that I'm not going to stitch anything else on black. I'm just not going to do it. It does not make me happy. It was very frustrating. So I have a couple of projects, and one that I've actually started a while ago that's on black, which I might restart that one. We'll see how I feel when I get around to it, but there's that. The next finish that I'm going to show is actually something I stitched twice. So this is Bee by the Moon by Wild Violet Cross Stitch. It was my very first finish and it's awful. It's just not good. I missed some stitches. I just didn't stitch some things. Things are unaligned. I don't know if you can see in the camera, but like my top legs go every which way. It's just, it's a very beginner's kind of stitch. This fabric was something I found at Joann's, and it was just not good to stitch on. The holes are very tight. It hurt my fingers. I cried a little bit over this, but you know, when I finished it, like I kept going, and when I finished it, oh my gosh, the feelings I felt so accomplished, and I was just so happy I finished this. Recently, I decided to restitch it, and here's the new version. I love this pattern just in general, so I wanted one that I could keep and frame and display and be proud of. Not that I'm not proud of this, not that I'm not proud of my very first one, but you know, this is a little bit more polished. And looking at this, I can definitely see how far I've come. I am so happy that I managed to redo this, and I'm going to frame it and keep it for a long time. So those are a few of my finishes. Like I said, I don't have too many since I've not been stitching for very long, and I tend to be attracted towards really large projects. So, you know, I don't think I'll have a ton of finishes just generally in my cross stitching life. But next I want to start going over some of my projects that I have going. I have a fair few started, meaning I put in a few stitches and then put the project away. So I'm not going to go through all of the projects I have started, just a few that I've worked on most recently. And the first is a periodic table. I forget who it's from. I'll link all of my projects below in the description, but I wanted a periodic table cross stitch ever since I read an article about a man who spent a long time doing one for himself. And I thought, you know, I'm a science nerd. I work in a lab. I definitely need one of these. So there's my little start on periodic table, little hydrogen there. I need to get going on this. It's a very easy project to do, and there are quite a few periodic tables out there, but this one I liked for its simplicity and the font that the symbols are written in. This is on 36 count even weave, and I don't know if I'm going to continue doing 2 strands over 2 or switch to 1 over 2. I need to do some more test swatching and thinking about how I want to finish this. But once I do, that should be an easy stitch to finish up. Next is Fraktur number 8 by Stitching Spell. This is another really easy, really cute cross-stitch pattern that I love. Stitching Spell has a few of these, and I bought a few, but this one is my favorite, and I hope to get my hands on this more often as well. Let's see. Next is Dinosaur Forest by Owl Forest Embroidery. When I first learned about this kit, it was out of stock, and I was sad. And then when they finally restocked it, I bought it immediately and started it. The kit comes with a 32 count linen, but I realized I don't really like stitching on linen, so I changed this to a 28 count Zweigart Lugana, which matches the color of the linen pretty well, and I think it's gonna be beautiful. I love this kit. I love that the dinosaur motifs aren't too childish, or for like a nursery. I think this would look great in any home. So I can't wait to finish that and display it. And the last one I'm going to show is the project I've been working on the most. I sort of fixated on it, sort of hyper-focused on it, and I'm almost done. It's still in the hoop. I apologize for that, but this is Heart Sampler by Bad Vibes Only Shop on Etsy. I don't want to take it out of the hoop because it's like at the perfect tension, and I don't want to have to try to get that again. But yeah, I'm almost done. I have 2 more pages to do, and it'll be done, and it'll be my very first really big finish, and I am so excited. This is a pattern that I saw and had to stitch immediately. I just saw it, I bought it, and I started it. This one has been through a lot with me. I've been stitching on it since last year, maybe last summer, last fall, and I went through some changes. When I first started stitching here, I was stitching in hand, learning how to do that, and then at some point I bought a Lowry stand and I started stitching with 2 hands, and that sort of changed everything and helped me get done with it faster. So yeah, I will probably sort of hyper focus on this until it's done, and I won't touch any of my other stitches. So hopefully in my next video I'll have this finished and ready to show you all. That's so beautiful. I love it so much. Look at that. It's great. So yeah, those are my few finishes and a couple of things I'm working on. What's next? I have notes down here about what I want to say. So that's that. So about my name, Stitching Journal Club. If you've never come across the term before, a journal club is when a group of researchers or clinicians get together to discuss and do a deep dive into a piece of scientific literature. The goal is to really understand the techniques, the methods, and the thinking behind a study that was done and published. I am going to use that term in a slightly different way, in that while I will discuss interesting scientific papers that I come across, of course. I will also talk about books, short stories, poems, just regular articles I come across in my videos. So if that sounds interesting to you at all, please subscribe and come back for the next one. For this one, I didn't really prepare anything because I sort of made this Flosstube on a bit of a whim, but I want to recommend a book series that I've been reading recently called the Murderbot Diaries by Martha Wells. It has excellent writing. It is about an android who gains free will and what it decides to do with its life once that happens. It's a very brief summary, but I think anyone who is into science fiction and who is particularly interested in artificial intelligence would have a really good time reading it. So that brings me to the end of this video. If you liked, please subscribe. Please hit the like button so others can find me, and I will see you next time.